Everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show, entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jim Masters, reporting for duty in the host chair here in the New York area, in the United States. And we're very excited to share with you a return guest, another valued return guest who's stopping by the Jim Masters Show to have some more fun with us. Also, update us on some really cool projects he's working on. You've seen him for years on television, in the movies, and everywhere else. He is one of the incredible veteran television and film character actors extraordinaire. I'm talking about our good friend Jasper Cole, joining us once again, return engagement here at JMS, and we're so excited about it. This guy, as I said, has been on just about every show you've ever heard of. And here's just a few of them, folks. He's been on Pacific Blue. He's been on Married with Children, The Rookie on ABC. Yes, Victorious. I mean, so many roles. He's such an incredibly talented guy, and one of the nicest guys in the business, too. He's been in Outlaw Empires on Discovery, Funny, or Die Presents. Yeah, all of these. And this really is the condensed list, folks. I could spend 20 minutes just telling you about his incredible credits, which are many and well earned. He's been on Everybody Hates Chris, Touched by an Angel. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The incredible Jasper Cole. He is omnipresent. Also, La Femme Nikita, CSI, Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, The Family Business. Absolutely. A great role in that. He's been on Party of Five, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This is just the short list again, folks. Is this ringing a bell? Some incredible, epic television series and great movies, too. He's been on episodes of Saved by the Bell, Training Day on CBS, MacGruber, yep, Clueless, The Forgotten, Prom Queen, all kinds of great movies. And even, of course, you may remember the Fandango commercials, Showdown at 7. There he is. Those are classic commercials. He's done hundreds of television commercials as well. He's also in the Church of Mike, and also Westworld and 18 Again. George Burns, good old George Burns. Yeah. Urban Assault. One of the versions of Friday the 13th. Alien Nation. Again, he is Americana. He has been in everything and continues to be. And he's got some new exciting projects and movies he's in. He's going to tell us about. Also, The Purge, Anarchy, and Hansel and Gretel. We just dug up a few. Anyone Home? Yeah. Get Your Stuff, and Spirit, and Awaken the Shadow Man, and Adrenaline Rush, American Horror Story. As I said, he's a prolific character actor. He's been doing this for a long time in Hollywood. And Second Sight, and Captured, and Savage Sisters, and so much more. And recently, Kombucha Cure. You may remember we've had some of the folks from there as guests here on our show. And he's also working with the incredible Charlene Tilton, you know, the veteran actress from Dallas and so much more. And there he is in that role. We're going to tell you about that in just a second. But he takes on all of his incredible personas. He's, considered Hollywood's bad boy. But underneath all of that, he is one of the nicest, sweetest guys in Hollywood. He's been doing this for a long time. He loves what he does, and he takes on a role with such passion and thirst and vim and vigor, folks. He's really incredible. Jasper Cole, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, and you're a big fan of his. Well, we are too, and we are so honored to have him here on the show. This, again, is his return visit, joining us here on the program. He's got some exciting things to tell us about, and a new movie, as I mentioned, with Charlene Tilton, Richard Tyson, Michael Emery. It is a 2024 holiday horror film, Final Recovery. We're talking about that. He co-stars, as I mentioned, in the Lionsgate hit thriller Fall, starring Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And the film received worldwide praise, box office success, with a sequel in the works. The film was one of the biggest releases of the summer. He plays Corey Black on the hit BET series The Family Business as well. He was awarded Best Screen Villain by the International Nollywood Film Festival for that role. He co-stars as Theo and executive produces the dark comedy on Amazon Prime pop star TV series Kombucha Cure as well. He was awarded Best Supporting Actor, and the series has won 45 awards so far, including a Telly Award for Best Series. He also plays Jagger in season 2 of the Amazon hit comedy series Smothered, opposite Jason Stewart. He also stars as Mike and is producer on the new TV series The Church of Mike, as I mentioned. Also executive produced by David Jeffrey from Prison Break and Bones. As a veteran actor, character actor with over 100 plus TV film credits, Jasper Cole continues his villainous streak, having co-starred in the box office smash hit film The Purge Anarchy, which we talked about as a homeless man, and Anyone Home, and all these other incredible ones, Savage Sisters, and so much more. It's really incredible. He's appeared in dozens of theatrical productions as well, national commercials. He's guest starred, as I mentioned, on some of your favorite television series. He's done comedy sketches on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And he also was the bad cowboy in the award-winning Showdown at 7 commercials for the popular movie website Fandango. Also in the popular national DirecTV commercials opposite Rob Lowe. You can see him worldwide as a pirate in the 1-800-CONTACT commercials as well. Nickelodeon fans know Jasper as Oswald in the final season of the hit series Victorious, which we mentioned, and several episodes of the hit syndicated series Outlaw Empires. And gang, that is just the short list of what Jasper's been up to, some of your favorite shows, and so much more. And he's very excited to be back here on the show, and we're so honored to have him back here. He's got a lot of cool things to share with us, and it's always a great time when this veteran actor, this beloved actor, joins us. Not just an actor, but he's a writer, director, producer, and has his production company, and he's also a manager of other fabulous talent as well. So he's got his hands full. So to get some moments with him, we are honored and blessed. And let's welcome him back to the Jim Masters Show. My friend Jasper, welcome back. Good to have you here.
Hey, buddy. Wow, that's quite an introduction. Who is that guy?
It's the twin. It's got to be the twin to pull all that off.
And congrats to you on the success of this show, and it's an honor to be back with you, and I love seeing how well you're doing with this, and I follow the show and I watch it, so thank you, my friend.
The pleasure is all mine. And last time you were with us, we had an epic conversation, and it was during the height of the craziness of the health scare. And, people were sort of making do and doing what they can, but you've always been so incredibly busy. How have you been since we chatted last, my friend?
Thank you. We were saying off air earlier that the whole pandemic period, especially during work, it almost seems like a Twilight Zone episode. Recently, I had to wear a mask to go into the doctor's office, and I thought, how the hell did I wear this mask for so long, and used to work out at the gym in it, and now I could barely keep it on for 5 minutes. But I think we all just pivoted, right? We had to pivot and go to the next, make do of what we had. I always make the joke, though, it was perfect because people were trapped. And so when you're pitching projects and trying to get things done, nobody could use the excuse, oh, I'm too busy, or I'm out of town, or
right.
I'm at the restaurant. No, you're not. You're at home. So you have to read my script. You have to, take my call. So I think we got a lot done, actually, on the producing side because of that.
Which is fantastic. And, you've had your hands in so many incredible projects. I just listed, that's not even the entire list of your extraordinary work for folks. And they can go back in the archives and see the other extended conversation we had with you when you were a guest on our show. But maybe as a reminder, or for the new viewers watching, how did you first get inspired to even get into acting and performance and the world of showbiz and entertainment, Jasper?
Yeah, you know what? I kind of grew up, I was a TV fanatic. I grew up on, I was a latchkey kid, so I know I would watch television, you know, all the Norman Lear comedies, the Kojaks and the Streets of San Francisco. I think those were Quinn Martin productions. So I kind of lived vicariously through television. I was in Athens, Georgia, and I was youngest of four boys and playing sports and all that. It was never really something that I thought I could do for a living, but I was sort of secretly would have loved to have been doing theater and stuff like that. But I actually did not do any of that until I graduated high school. I tried college for a little while, but then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and enrolled in a full theater program there. And that's when I kind of got the ball rolling and met a wonderful lady there, and we co-wrote a play together, and we ended up bringing it out to LA in 1987. And I stayed and just have been here ever since.
What would you consider when you look at all that, the break that really made the difference, that big break, that moment, that opportunity that took things from sort of, you know, point A to point B for you?
I'm still waiting. No,
A lot of
you know,
people say that. Yeah.
well, it's true. Like when I look back now, because I just turned 60. I
Happy
moved.
birthday.
Thank you. I moved to LA at 23. I think a lot of us actors think that we say when I make it,
Right.
and when you get to a certain age, you look back and I kind of say, well, I've been making it all along, but I thought I was waiting for some moment. And so now this is the old guy talking to the kids. I would say try to enjoy the moment, enjoy the journey, the moments. Because Jim, honestly, like sadly, a lot of those credits, not sadly, but when I look at some of those credits, I think back to the age I may have been at the time. I don't think I really fully
Appreciated it.
appreciated it or was in the moment, or I was just always on to the next one. Like I got to get the next one. So humble here. I'm so grateful for all of it. But like just you mentioned this new film, Final Recovery, like that's another next chapter for me because I'm playing the lead in the film. And so I think that's not to say I won't go back and be supporting, but everything is just the next thing is probably the break, right? But,
Yeah.
but yeah, my career has been a marathon, not a sprint. So,
Right.
you kind of gotta. For some of us, you just don't take yourself out of the game. Stay in the game. I think is the important thing.
You know, you've graced the television screens, the movie theaters, incredible streaming services with all of the incredible work. What came first for you? Was it television or was it film?
Well, actually, well, it's funny. I got my SAG card on a film called Tennessee Stallion in my hometown of Athens, Georgia. It starred Audrey and Judy Landers
Mm,
and Vince Van Patten. And it was you know, it was a small indie film or whatever. And that's when I first got in front of a camera. But really I went into theater and did plays, and theater was really my first love, I guess. And then like I said, I co-wrote the play and I brought it out too. But in Atlanta, I had done commercials and extra work and stuff like that. But I do come from the theater, so I would say I went from theater to television, then to film. But nowadays, TV and film are just interchangeable. You
they're
know,
so interchangeable now, right? Do you still love theater? Do you still like to dabble in the theater world?
love it so much, and I have not done a play in over 10 years, and I used to literally do a play every year, one a year. I'm trying to find something. I kind of I'm a little the characters I normally play and the look I have, it doesn't lend me to like South Pacific.
Right.
Not that not that I do musicals, but you know, there's been a couple of things that almost happened recently, so I am trying to get back on stage. I just miss it so much.
You're doing this wonderful film with Charlene Tilton. I mentioned, of course, people recognize from a lot of different things, but most notably, of course, Dallas. And I was mentioning we were blessed to have Linda Gray on the show recently from Dallas and much, much more. And she was a real delight. And I know we're hoping to chat with Charlene down the line as well. But what was it like teaming up with Charlene and everybody to work on this new film, this Christmas horror film?
Well, this film has a very interesting journey. It was written for me 16 years ago by
Really?
by fellow Georgian Jerry Lee Davis. It was really like a winter's bone. It was this very gritty drama, kind of sleepy drama, about a rehab center in the Appalachian Mountains. And it's been a 16-year journey, many different people attached, financing fell through. Every few years, Jerry Lee and I would drag this script out again. Like, we're just beating a dead horse, trying to see if ironically, of course, when he wrote it for me, I was of a certain age. And then finally, I think last year I said, dude, if we don't, I'm going to be in a wheelchair. My character Rodney is going to be the grandfather if we don't get this made. But timing, of course, with everything. On my podcast, One-on-One with Jasper Cole, I had a director, Harley Wallen, on my show about 5 years ago, and we really clicked. He's more of a horror genre director, and we kept in touch. And long story short, during the pandemic, we connected, and he mentioned, "Do you have any projects?" And I said, "Well, I don't have any horror scripts. I only have this one, Mountain Boys." He says, "Let me take a look at it. Do you think it could ever be a horror film?" And I thought, I don't think so. But he looked at it. We brought another writer in. We did a rewrite. Somehow it became this Christmas horror film. And Charlene and I have been friends for 20 years, have wanted to work together. And my producing partner, J.R. Rosenberg, and I had been working on a potential reality show with Charlene and her daughter, Cherish. And everything just clicked. And maybe on the page, Charlene wasn't exactly how we had initially envisioned the Nanny Lou character, but boy, as I mentioned to you, I think people are going to be blown away by her performance in this. And ironically, I'm at that stage where I was starting to try to play more lead roles, and Charlene's at a real character actress stage in her career where she was craving character roles. So I think the two came together at a perfect time, and we went off to Michigan. Well, the strike. So, we kept pushing August, September, October, November, because the strike was happening. And then literally, I think 2 days after the strike ended, we had to just quickly throw this together and get to Michigan, where Harley shoots all of his films. And it turned out to be an incredible experience. And the crew and the people there in Flint, Michigan, and Harley's company, and Charlene's daughter, Cherish Lee, plays an incredible role, Tanya, in this, and kind of steals the movie, quite frankly. And Cherish is also contributing music to the film because she's an accomplished songwriter and singer. Her dad is Johnny Lee, the country music singer.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, so it ended up being, even though the reality version that we were trying to do has not happened, the family, we got together on this, and as I mentioned to you, it's made for a major streamer, which we can't say yet, but that probably around May or June, we will get to. That's when I know Charlene wants to come on, and actually promote the date and the premiere with you. Yeah, and it turned out we kept we got to keep the story, the heartfelt characters, and the relationships. It just sort of takes a turn, at a certain point, and gets really kind of scary.
Can you tell us a little bit about, the premise to tease us? I know you don't want to give it all away, but a little bit about what it's about.
Sure. So it takes place in Flint, Michigan, at a very kind of rundown drug rehab center called Sage. My character Rodney is unfortunately sort of the long-term addict in and out of rehab. You know, it's really, Mountain Boys was really about the opioid crisis in the country and how it was overtaking rural areas. And so I am back in the rehab center. It's being run by a woman, a female that Charlene plays, who's a very upstanding citizen in the community. And she and I have a very interesting past relationship, current relationship. And I end up with a younger roommate in the rehab center who's kind of a younger version of myself. And so I'm sort of what he does not want to become. You know, I'm sort of the idea of, if you don't get your shit together, this is how you're going to end up. And so we forge a relationship, and things start happening at the rehab center, and nothing is really what it appears to be. But it's, like I said, it's run by this very strong, formidable character of Nanny Lou, Louise Stamey, and that's who Charlene plays. And let's just say Rodney and Nanny Lou do not get along, or maybe they do. You know, I don't know.
To be determined when you tune in, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
It was the thrill to work with her, and Richard Tyson and Mike Emery, just an incredible group of people.
So is it all finished? It's shot, it's done?
It's shot and it's done. We've turned in our first rough cut, and we've hired an incredible composer who's actually the brother of our DP and our editor, Nolan Elias. So we've got another family connection there. And Jared Elias, his brother, is an award-winning composer. And I mentioned Cherish Lee is contributing original music to the film as well. So it now begins the color correction and the sound mixing and the special effects, but the film itself is done. The editing is done. It really came out. I don't watch dailies, and I can't watch dailies when we're shooting. I will just get in my head, and this was my first lead role where I really was just almost in every scene, and so getting to see it finally after we finished. You know, most of us actors, we don't even get to see anything until it comes out. So getting to be behind the scenes like this has been really great. I think all actors should have that opportunity, because it really does. It just levels the playing field, and you get to see it's like how to make the sausage, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, see, you've had your hands in that area as much as you've been seen on television and on movies. You've had the opportunity to be, you know, producer and director, writing, managing, all these other aspects. Do you like juggling all the different aspects of the industry as much as being a veteran character actor, Jasper?
Yeah, you know, I do. I like doing it all. When I came to town with the play Willow Springs Now, Becky Kennedy, we co-wrote it, we co-starred in it, we co-produced it. I always say I kind of came to town doing that, and I don't know if I just couldn't let go of the control, but I do. Acting is my great passion, and that's my real true love. And you know, there's nothing better than to just be hired and have to show up and not not be worried about the budget, or you know. But then I say that, and then I think there's a part of me, I don't know how to just do one thing, and I think all of it enhances my acting. I love managing because I get to, you know, work with talent, and I'm still in the business. So I think I bring a good perspective to my clients. Producing, I'm sort of the creative producer. I like to find a project, put the team together, work on the script. This last time around, I was pretty good at raising money, which I really never have had that ability. I think because selfishly I was starring in it. I had a little motivation. But the whole process, you know, from beginning to end can be, it's a lot of work. The only thing I don't do and I don't want to do is direct, because I think it's the hardest job ever. I just don't have that ability.
Have you tried it? Have you dabbled in a little bit? Offered some suggestions as you were going along a little bit here and there?
Yeah, and I do, and people will tell me, no, 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 Jasper, I think
They're
you
like,
really,
get
I
out.
think, well, no, they'll tell me they actually think I probably could direct. I
Yeah,
just, I just think it's the most important. If I had to say there's in film or TV, the most important job, I think really is the editor, the DP, and the director, and a great AD assistant director are the tough jobs. You know, actors, we have it, man. You know, we're pretty pampered, and we're in our trailer waiting for the next scene.
always be nice to the lighting people.
Be nice to the craft service and everybody.
Every aspect. We've had a couple people on from this great production, and congratulations in the involvement in this. Kombucha Cure.
Thank you.
Tell us about this for anybody who's not familiar with it. This is something pretty cool too.
Yeah, and this is another example of February. We shot this in January and February of 2020, and then the pandemic hit. It was a film, and everything shut down. And after about a year and a half of nothing happening, we got Cecilia Choi and her husband Michael, the creators, J.R. Rosenberg and I, and York Fryer, who stars in it. We came together and we decided to make it into a 6-episode series. So without shooting more material, we edited, we did the whole process. We premiered it on Popstar TV,
Right.
and then went to Amazon, and now we're on Tubi. And so Tubi is free, as you know. And
That's right.
And season 1 is up on Tubi now. We're working on season 2. All 8 episodes are written, and we just got, well, first of all, we've been blessed. We won 6 Telly Awards. This I don't want to say little, but this series has resonated with so many people. We've been blessed, but we just got 16 ISO, which are the Indie Series Award nominations. The thing I'm most excited about, we got ensemble and cast, and then all 8 of us leads each got nominated in our individual categories, and Cecilia and Michael for writing, for directing. I'm so excited. It's going to be May 15th in Burbank. Patricia Darbo always hosts, and it's a really fun event. I'm pretty sure tickets are still available. People can, I think, just Google that ISA Awards. It's at the Colony Theater in Burbank.
Yeah, that's a great event, huh?
We're all coming together for that. Yeah, it's very exciting.
Tell us about it for those who aren't familiar with Kombucha Cure.
Kombucha Cure, yes, it is. If anyone remembers Northern Exposure, the series,
Yeah.
To me, it always has a little bit of that. It's really about this little quirky town in Nevada of these sort of interesting, quirky characters who come together, and with various medical issues, we kind of decide we want to figure out a way to sort of get one over on big pharma and the insurance industry, and our creators and our writers, Dr. Cecilia Choi and Michael Snell, they're also leading oncologists in the country. Cecilia has chemo clinics in Hawaii. Michael is a very prominent oncologist in Ohio. So it's written from their perspective, from the inside looking out. So there's sort of, I know when they've done press in the past, people have asked them, well, aren't you concerned about biting the hand that feeds you? And she always says, no, I actually want to make things better. I don't want to I'm not criticizing to like bring down the industry. I just want to make things better, more better for the patients, and make it all work better for each other. So it's a dark comedy. It's a dramedy. I play Theo, who is a veteran, and my wife and I have a pet pig, and I'm a yogi. And, for me, it's a chance to do something more comedic, not killing people and, cutting their heads off and stuff like that. Not that I don't want to stop doing that.
Right.
But in real life and on screen. I'm kidding.
I was going to say.
Yeah. But it's, and Tamara Braun, Emmy-winning actress, is our lead. Mara Cohen, and she represents the insurance company who comes to this town to investigate something's off here. You know, we have a very good record of wellness, but a lot of procedures. And so she comes to town to investigate, and while she thinks she's there to sort of be against us, she kind of starts siding with the town folk, and then she has to go up against her bosses and people back at the headquarters. And so it's a really sweet yet poignant and I think powerful story, especially everything that happens today with insurance companies.
Yeah, the craziness of it all. And it's been well received too, obviously, like you say, another season coming out, which is exciting, huh?
Very exciting. I mean, it's hard to get anything made these days, as you know.
Yeah,
And but I say to people, you know, the beauty is we have that ability now. If you can self-finance, you can sell it. You know, the power is in owning your material. And
it is.
there's so many avenues, so many places to sell your material now. So if you can just get it made, that's the first hurdle. And then there's no dearth of places to sell it. Thank God.
When you were first starting out, did you have this thought that you were going to go towards the bad boy image, or was that something that everybody started noticing about you, or started, crafting or telling you go in this direction? You have the look, you have the vibe. How did that whole thing develop for you?
Very not planned. I came to LA, like I said, in this comedy play. I had done stand-up comedy in Atlanta. Comedy was my life. I thought I was going to be a sitcom star. I did
And you
not
left
look
a monastery in Georgia, right?
like yeah, yeah, exactly. I didn't look like this then. I often say to people, I was sort of I fell between the cracks. I wasn't typical Hollywood leading man, but I was an extreme character. So I kind of was the sidekick, the best friend, the boy next door kind of thing, and I worked and I'm not complaining. So the first 10 years of my career, but honestly, I did the Michael Eisner series Prom Queen, I think in 2007, 6, somewhere close to my 40th birthday. I played this sort of evil stepfather to one of the leads. And it kind of got a lot of attention, and my character, people like this kind of evil father. And so the casting people had known me for 10 years as, like I said, sort of the sidekick person. And I kind of made a conscious decision to lean into that. And I grew my hair out and I grew the beard, which I never had any of this. And I kind of reinvented myself. And at 40 years old, it also happened to be I woke up one day at 40 and I just looked different. I mean, my whole look, my face changed, and I kind of leaned into it and kind of was blessed to start getting on that list of, I say to people, you kind of don't, actors say they want to play all kinds of roles, but in TV and film, you kind of want to get typecast. So you get on that list and in that lane. And so for the last 20 plus years, I've been blessed. But to my point, my basic personality, as you know, is funny and more light and comedic. So I've been able to do more comedy, but a lot of times, even in the comedy, I'm still the bad guy in the comedy. But no, I thought I was going to be, Kevin James on King of Queens. Tell God your plan, right?
Right. Well, like I said, through all the years, you've graced us with your presence on so many iconic series and various different roles, and even the Rookie, more recent on ABC. What was it like having an opportunity to be on that?
Oh, it was great. That group of producers is this example too of I worked for them on The Forgotten. I used to go in on The Shield all the time. I tell actors a lot of times, you can audition for a show 30 times. You may not book that show, but they will remember you for another one. So yeah, working with that group was great. My character, Crackhead Fred, and I have a wife named Wilma. He's supposedly coming back, but Jim, that's the story.
Wait,
That's
Fred and Wilma?
yes, it's so
Did
funny.
you have a buddy named Barney?
And kids named Pebbles and Bam
Rush,
Bam.
Bam Bam. I bet you would play Bam Bam.
Oh my God. It's so funny because at the end of one of the scenes, Eric Winter's character says, "Say hi to Wilma for me," and that was sort of the setup of
Yeah.
we're waiting for Crackhead Fred to come back, with Wilma. But no, I love that was John Frankenheimer, I think was the director. I mean, you go into these cast and you're the guest for the day or 2 days or 3 days, and then you're gone. So it's always that like first day of school, coming
Right.
into a group, and everyone's always welcoming, and TV's fast.
It is.
You get maybe one rehearsal, one camera blocking, and shoot it a few takes. I mean, unless the camera knocks you in the head or you black out, it's pretty much. And I'm a 1, 2, 3 take actor. I feel I get worse the more takes we go. Some actors like to warm up. They're not their best, they feel, on the beginning. They're better take 7, but I'm pretty much, I feel I'm best. I always say, tape the rehearsal even. That might be my best.
You don't need to do it again and again and again and again. It's more raw and organic, usually the first time, right?
For me, it is. But, I respect one thing you learn as an actor, everybody's process is different, right?
It's different.
You roll with it, and you just, if the other actor is better at take 4, if we even get take 4.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the thing in TV. You can't really expect you're going to get that many takes. So I always say just be ready, to hit it.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you've got your Nickelodeon fans too, which I think is really cool. Victorious.
Oh, wow. That was interesting because...
And of course, Discovery. I mean, incredible stuff.
Well, Victorious is an example where the young actress on the far right at that time, no one knew her as the Ariana Grande of today.
That's
she
right.
Was Ariana Grande, who was a supporting character on this show, and talk about someone transforming their career and their life, right? I mean, look at her today. She was wonderful. I mean, I remember her, but she was not the lead. Victoria Justice was the lead, and Ariana was like third, maybe fourth,
Yeah.
But that's what I love. I love those kind of experiences where you look and you go, wow, look at her today, and she totally transforms. I mean, obviously she clearly was a singer back then. I just didn't know it. But those Nickelodeon fans are very loyal,
They
horror,
really, really are.
soap opera, horror, children's shows, comedy. Those are some of the most loyal fans, and with all the conventions and the cons and the
cons
you really get to know. You forget how many people see your work.
There's that recent resurgence of everybody talking about Saved by the Bell recently too, right?
Yeah. They got a reboot on Peacock, I think.
Yeah, and you had an opportunity to be in that, and also Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, I played the Oolong Slayer. That was another great experience. And I got that episode. What was great for me is the director was Michael McDonald, who used to be on Mad TV for those years. I was a huge comedy, Mad TV friend. I sort of geeked out more when I got to the set. I didn't know he was the director until I got to the set. And he comes up and introduces himself, and I still am not, but he said something, and the way he said it, I was like, wait, are you Stuart from Mad TV? And so that was iconic for me. And Adam Sandberg, and um, just classic. Terry Crews, yeah, it's a great,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Talk about laughing and things of that nature, even involved with Funny or Die Presents, huh?
Oh yeah, that's another great example of. Of course, I played a creepy prisoner, but it was funny. My scene on there was a little almost X-rated to a point. It was
Yeah.
way R-rated. But those guys were hilarious, and like you said, I got to do skits on the Tonight Show, doing MacGruber, an SNL comedy with Lauren Michaels and that whole crew. So I guess in a way, the comedic, the love for comedy has been around me, in the last few years. I've been able to come back to comedy.
And then there's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that was iconic. That was really. I had a tiny part of a trainer who got cut. By the way, I'm cut out of the film. But once you're even associated with a film like that, your name stays attached to it.
It's there.
Yeah, but that was again. It was it's about the journey. It's about the experience of shooting something that you remember,
Right.
and
Right.
that's such a franchise
Yeah.
icon. I actually grew up loving horror films. I never thought I'd be in horror films, but I was a big fan of them for sure, and still am.
George Burns, 18 again.
Oh wow, Charlie Schlatter, Jennifer Runyon. That was another example. I had a tiny part. I started as an extra in that, and I got upgraded. I was Charlie's stand-in as well because we're both height challenged. And so I did get to meet Mr. Burns.
Mm,
I kept calling him Mr. Burns, and he was like, "Call
yeah.
me, call me George." But again, I had just moved here. I was 23. I was such a fan of TV and film. I was just, God, pinch me. I'm on a studio picture, learning. I say to people a lot of times, background and extra work is a great way to just learn a set, just watch how it works and how actors, what it means to watch them shoot a scene and action and cut and the slate and all that stuff. So I always say if you can be an extra or a background, I think we're saying atmosphere, do it because it's a great learning experience.
And another one you're very involved in, the family business too. Tell us about that on
Isn't it
BET.
interesting? Another
Yeah.
comedy guy, Ernie Hudson, who is an example of somebody for Ghostbusters, but plays this really ruthless head of this family, the family business. He's duplicitous. He runs a upscale car dealership by day, but he's actually a drug lord by night. And my character Corey Black is part of his underground. I run a Philadelphia biker gang, Philadelphia biker gang, and I'm part of his underground world. But just getting to sit with Ernie and talk with him and watch him, be this sort of, because number one on the call sheet, as sets the tone for a project, and
Right.
he's just what can you say? I mean, I find in my career, the bigger the stars, the nicer they are. Not difficult at all. I can count on one hand, thankfully, maybe a couple of experiences that weren't so pleasant, but out of my 100 and something credits, I've run into maybe 4 or 5 bad experiences. So that's pretty good odds.
It's very good odds considering exactly. The Church of Mike is another one I know you're proud of being involved in.
Yeah, Church of Mike was my first ever. It's a scripted audio podcast. It's a scripted audio drama, and I'm the lead in that. So I guess I had done a lead before. We had hoped, and we're still hoping that okay, that's an example that was written as a series for the camera, but during the pandemic, we pivoted, and we actually, all being remotely in different homes, we were able to record and do this audio series, which is now on Spotify. And we also got some ICE Award nominations last year, or two years ago, for that. And that is something that we hope to also bring to camera now that the pandemic's over. But that was fascinating, getting to do not being on camera, but doing the voice, the character with just the voice. It was really like back to the radio days, the old-fashioned radio plays. I loved it.
You also have been seen in several commercials, including Showdown at 7, Fandango. That's classic, huh? That
was
must have been a
so
lot of
great.
fun.
Yeah, and we shot that at the Universal, at the back lot, the Western back lot, where Clint Eastwood, all the famous Westerns were shot. And our DP was part of Clint's original, he's one of Clint's original crew members. And for me, that was iconic, getting to shoot on that back lot on the Western set.
Mm-hmm. That's really that was really, really cool. I mean, when you just look at the scope and breadth of things that you've been a part of, all that, whether it's a large role or just an extra role or whatever, it's quite incredible. Training Day on CBS.
Yeah, Training Day was special because that was the last project Bill Paxton did. And on the episode I guest starred, his real life son was also guest starring on the episode. So I got to work with he and his dad. And I loved it. Obviously the show would have continued had Bill not passed away so shockingly, surprisingly. But that was really memorable. Ironically, that was my first job back after having a back surgery. I had 2 discs replaced in my back, and from doing stunts that I probably should not have done for 20 years. And I requested a stunt double on that because I had some fight scenes, and I guess Bill and I were talking, and I told him I literally just had back surgery 2 weeks before, 3 weeks. And he said, wow, because I have a disc problem. I have to have surgery, but I got to find a good surgeon. And I think I had one of the best in LA. And I referred him, and he ended up going to this surgeon. And the next time I saw my doctor for a checkup, unfortunately, Bill had passed. And here's a weird thing, Jim. I said to Brian, the doctor, we talked about it in passing. He goes, Jasper, you know what's really strange? The night that Bill had his heart surgery, Brian was supposed to be on call at Cedars to be the doctor that did the rounds, but he got called out of town at the last minute, or he would have seen Bill for the last time at Cedars because Bill unfortunately passed away during the night. I mean, it's just 6 degrees of separation. It's so bizarre.
Wow. That is 6 degrees of separation. That's something, huh? Jeez.
And what I forgot to say is when he mentioned he needed the back surgery, but he had a heart issue he had to take care of first before he could do the back surgery. That's what was ironic on the set, because he said I've been putting off the back surgery because they've got this little heart thing that I was born with. I got to take care of.
Take care of that. Mm.
Yeah.
Of course, people remember American Horror Story as well.
Yeah, working with Ryan Murphy, like I have a bucket list of people. Like I still want to work with Quentin Tarantino. I wanted to do a Ryan Murphy show, and so I got to, put that on, cross that off the list. And he didn't direct the episode, but he was there on set. I got to meet him and talk to him, and he's very good about bringing the same. I've gone in now for other projects he's been doing. He's really good about keeping the same actors in his repertoire. So I'm hoping to get to do that again with him on something.
Alien Nation.
Another one of my very first being on a major set when I first moved to LA, James Caan. I was a big fan, again, just 23-year-old sitting back and taking it all in and faking it till you make it, as I say. Pretending I knew what I was doing.
Dude, what you were doing. The Purge Anarchy, another one too.
Yeah, that was great. Jason Blum. It was great to be on one of his projects, and I got to play one of my typical creepy homeless guys. You know what I want to say to people also. A lot of times we shoot and we get cut out of. I made the film, but I shot for a week or so. You know, you do all this incredible scenes,
Yeah.
and it doesn't always make it to the final cut. But one thing actors should know: the gift that a director gives you, if they keep you in, but mainly if you make the credit, if your character and your name stays in the credits, you continue to get SAG residuals and money towards your health insurance. So that's always a gift from a director as well, that they allow you to keep your credit. That's really important, because for character actors like myself, we have to earn X amount of money every year to keep our health insurance.
That's
And,
right.
you know, and part of the strike that we just went through is getting better health. You know, because they keep raising the earnings qualifications, and
The
then
cap, yeah.
but the pay goes down on what we make, and so it's a whole thing. And it's people say to me, "God, Jasper, you'll just take any role," and I'm like, "Well, I'm working for my pension and my health insurance, so
Bring
you
it
got to
on.
rack up as much money as you can."
Exactly, because you gotta get your stuff.
Yeah, I produced that film in 1999, 2000. The wonderful Elaine Hendricks, who has continued to work forever. She was Alexis Carrington on this most recent Dynasty reboot.
Right.
Yeah, that was a great project. I love working with Max Mitchell. That was a play that became a movie. Yeah, wow, a lot of memories on that one. That's a true indie film from scratch, raising the money, you know, getting it made, getting it
Getting it
sold.
all together and exactly. Anyone
Yeah.
home?
Oh wow, yes, that was a great one. I worked with out in the desert, um, playing Walker. He was a desert rat who gets taken in, and that was interesting because that was a concept at a time when instead of just putting homes online to look at, they were having families actually live in a home. So
Mm,
make it where it was staged where you're actually living there, and
living there.
a mother and her young son are living in this house, and she's bipolar and she starts hallucinating, and my character comes in, and this is one time when I started as the villain but ended up being sort of the victim, where she takes over and captures me. um, it's really good film. It's so well done. So if it's out there on streamers, if people want to see it.
It is absolutely captured another one.
Another great indie horror film. That's an example where I went in. The character was written originally for like someone in their 70s. Dan Velez, God rest his soul, the casting director, he knew my work. I remember when I went in the room, because we were still in the room then, and I saw all these older guys with white hair, and I remember thinking, huh, this is weird. I don't see anyone that's reading for my role. I didn't realize they were reading for my role. But that's an example where sometimes you can go in and change the mind of the the director or the casting person. But Dan had an idea. He thought, let me bring Jasper in as sort of the alternative idea. If you thought younger, and they did go my way on that one. So that was really nice. I don't think the age really didn't matter, quite frankly. The character could have been any age, but that's how the breakdown went out, with 60s or 70s.
Adrenaline rush.
Well, Fall, yeah. So Fall was, as you know, that's another surprise. That was my first job during the pandemic, out in the desert in Lancaster. And Scott Mann, the director, he did my favorite film, Heist,
Mm,
before, and I didn't really care what it was. I wanted to work with Scott Mann. And I tell actors that's another example. You show up, you do your work, you have no idea what's going to happen. I didn't know it was a Lionsgate film. I had no idea it was going to be the blockbuster of 2022 and 2023, and there's 2 sequels, and thank God my character survived the first one, and it really did turn out to be quite the sleeper hit of the summer. But if you have any fear of heights, take some Dramamine before you watch this movie, because it's, the 2 lead actresses are trapped on a tower pretty much the whole movie. And those ladies, they did all their own stunts, and Jenny and Virginia, they were incredible.
That's incredible. Yeah. Wow. Doing their own stunts. And of course, this one too, Awaken the Shadow Man.
Yeah, that's an example. I had done a film, Hansel and Gretel, and Anthony Ferrara, who directed Hansel and Gretel, who went on to do all the Sharknado movies.
Oh, yeah.
He was producing Awaken the Shadow Man and just offered me this role. Sometimes you get offers. I usually have to audition, but that's another example where it's funny because we did Hansel and Gretel with Dee Wallace. She played my
Dee
mom.
Wallace, that's right.
Right before he did the Sharknado movies, and then he, his career took off with the Sharknado stuff. So it's just like when I did MacGruber in 2009-10, that with Kristen Wiig, of course, that was the summer before Bridesmaids hit, and she really. So really, I'm the key, right? I'm the one. They do the projects right before the blockbusters. They do the small ones with me, and then the blockbusters. Okay, I got it. I see the pattern now.
You're the regional theater before it hits Broadway.
I'm the cable access show before it hits.
He's the taste tester.
As long as the check's clear, I'm good.
As long as the check's clear. I sprinkled this in earlier, but tell us about this too, Outlaw Empires and Discovery. That's something very cool.
Another example where I think I went in on Kurt's show, Sons of Anarchy, I don't know, 10 times.
Yeah.
But I don't ride motorcycles, and every role that I would go in for on.
And they probably think you do, right?
They think I do. I look the part, but
right.
You would have thought I would have just realized, well, Jasper, why don't you get your motorcycle license and maybe you'll book one of these roles? But again, lo and behold, I ended up doing this show where I didn't actually have to ride a motorcycle. It's just like on Family Business. I play a biker, but I don't ride a motorcycle. So I just had to look the part and didn't have to ride a motorcycle. But I'm telling actors that's an example where going in all those times of Sons of Anarchy paid off later on with the Outlaw Empires. You just never know. That's why I tell actors, every audition, do your best, hit it, make it the best you can. I actually have this delusional thing where I pretend I'm actually shooting the job when I do the audition. So I'm not actually auditioning, I'm actually filming it for you, and they just decide not to use it. But that way, because a lot of us, we get this real mind thing about auditions, and it kind of freaks us out and we freeze up. But I think if you just figure you're shooting it and you already have the part, it might take some of the pressure off.
That's a good way to do it. That's a good way to approach it, because it can take the pressure off if you're not hung up on that, which I think is it's kind of ingenious to think of it that way. Just sprinkling in some more variety, a Party of Five and CSI and Touched by an Angel, another, huh?
Iconic actors, iconic shows. I mean, it's funny because this was still when I think we just had the 4 networks. I mean, we didn't have the streamers yet. There was a time when if you got on a network, it's amazing when you got on a network show, even if it's a one-time guest spot, it's amazing how many people would see it. And then they also would rerun it so much. And it lives in reruns still, so and we made really nice money on the networks. You know, the streamers, you know, we're not compensated for all the downloads and stuff like that, but it's great exposure. Um, not complaining. That's the other thing. You know, I tell people I always say, the moment I'm not happy in this business, I will get out. There's no reason. If you're bitter, if you're not happy, please leave. We don't need that energy around. You know, you kind of got to just roll with it. You know, you got to change with the times and accept how things are now. By the way, I love self tapes. A lot of actors say they miss going in the room. I don't miss it. I miss seeing the casting people. I love the casting directors, so now when I do self tapes, when I do my slate where you say your name, I will say hi to Wendy or Steve or whoever, because I do miss seeing them, and I miss them like giving direction in the room. But in terms of having to drive there and park and go in, and I don't miss any of that, and I like doing the self tapes. So for me, that's one of the pluses. Although we have been doing self tapes before the pandemic, but the pandemic really solidified that there's no more in room auditions, and it's more so because it's cost effective, and
Right.
producers don't have to leave the set to do producer callbacks. You know, you can do all these. You don't have to hold sessions anymore. Casters don't have to have offices. You know, they're saving on rent, and there's a couple commercial casting places that still are back to in the room. I heard mainly because some of them had very long-term leases on some of these buildings, some of these office spaces that they can't get out of. So they're kind of stuck. So that's fine. That's fun. I go in now to the commercial places and get to see the actors. But a lot of people don't know, when you do online auditions now live, when you do the live ones, your actor friends are in the waiting room with you, so their pictures pop up around the screen, and we can still talk to each other virtually while we're waiting to be brought into the main screen. So it's, in a way, you're kind of still seeing your buddies,
Which is cool.
which is cool, because I do miss seeing character actors. Some of the character actors are the nicest, friendliest people. You hear that a lot. We play these really
Yes.
creepy people. Some of the leading guys, no, that doesn't say that. I'm not saying the leading guys are the a-holes, but people are shocked sometimes that the character guys are so friendly. We're very supportive of each other, because basically, honestly, Jim, it's either my part or it's not. You know, it's the luck of the draw that day. They either want the long hair and the beard, or they want my friend, Aaron with the red hair, or any of us can do the part. Any of us that have been called in, play these roles, we can do them in our sleep. It just comes down to what look they want that day.
Have you, I mean, you're so established with this look and this persona and these various roles. Have you had things happen of late where people are like, we want you, Jasper, but you got to shave everything, remove the look. We want a totally different look, but we want you, but with a different look. And is that a dilemma when that comes your way, because you have, it takes a while to grow the hair and to get the look that you're booked at for all these roles, what is it like when that happens?
Well, I'm willing to, I can shave. I've been able to disguise the hair with hats, or putting it up when it's back like this. You don't really notice that it's long. But I have shaved, but I haven't cut the hair. I actually want the hair to go. I want to look like Sam Elliott, Jeff Bridges. I want the gray silver hair. My mom died at 82 with not a gray hair in her head, and so my dad has beautiful silver hair. So I was hoping I might get more of the silver, but so for now, my
You have the
agent.
silver and right here.
Right. So yeah, exactly. And then when I play Theo, they darken the
They
beard.
darken that.
Yeah. So but the irony for character actors, for guys, we tend to get busier as we get older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's true for character actresses too. Leading guys and leading women sometimes, unfortunately, can get a little pigeonholed, and people can't see past, the beauty or whatever. The looks are changing. Hopefully, that's getting better, but it is a little sexist in our favor that we can. I always say the ugly and the creepier looking I get, the cragglier I look, the more work I get as I get older. So I often fans. I don't like that word. Support people who like my work. They will tell me, "Wow, you look so much better in person." I'm always like, "Well, that's a plus."
You don't walk into the supermarket in the produce aisle looking like that, do you?
Right. They're always somewhat amazed that, I'm not as scary in person. So that's always a plus.
You like comedy. Would you like to pursue more comedic roles as well, Jasper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really would. I love the comedy part. It's just part of my personality. I try to throw a little bit in now. I think even when I play the bad guys, I've been told I have a little bit of a vulnerability that sometimes makes my bad guy not be so on the nose, brings a little more quirkiness to them. So that's kind of a wink wink to the comedy, I think. More sarcastic, probably.
There's the name of the show. Wink, wink to the comedy, I think.
The
Write
new,
that down. There you
yeah,
go.
I like
Coming
that'd
up
be
on Tubi. Wink, wink.
wink
You have to
wink.
bring in Wink Martindale too as
Oh,
host.
he's probably, have you had him on the show?
Yes, he was on singularly. Singularly, we were celebrating him, but with his wife, his beautiful wife Sandra, and then we did a very special tribute to Bob Barker, and
Okay.
we had Wink was on, and Bob Barker's longtime publicist Roger was with us, and
Oh
several
wow.
other guests, and we celebrated. We've done tribute broadcasts. We did a tribute show to Tina Turner, to Cindy Williams, Carol Burnett's 90th, Dick Van Dyke's 98th, where we brought in Larry Matthews, who was Little Richie,
Right.
and Doug Danoff, whose father was one of the head writers, Georgiana Nupi Rodriguez, who is the daughter of Rosemary, was on the
Uh,
show, and we did a tribute to and I mentioned Cindy Williams, but also Lisa Marie Presley, Ronnie Spector from the Ronettes, who is a family friend of ours. So we've done some of these, and we did one with Bob Barker, and Wink was on that, and it was cool.
that's incredible.
Love those game shows and the
I
hosts.
think I think Wink also is in Palm Springs. I think maybe has a place in Palm Springs.
And he had a great friendship with Elvis too, and he's talked a lot about that over the years. His friendship with Elvis, which was quite extraordinary because he's done radio for years
Right.
with Martindale, and yeah, so he's got that whole kind of like my background, radio and television. He's got that broadcast background, so and he does like tribute shows and all kinds of different things on the air, which I think is really really cool. What like I said, and just showing our viewers just a little snippet of the many things that you've done on camera as well as behind the scenes. What else is on that list of things that you want to do, that you want to either dip your feet in, to more, or you want to try and you've never tried before, Jasper?
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying I'm putting it out there. My like perfect job would be if I could be on one of the 1 hour dramas. I'd like to play like an undercover cop, who gets to go. I could play homeless, drug addicts. I could actually play most of the characters that I'm known for playing, but do it as like an undercover cop on one of the police procedurals, third, fourth. Although Charlene Tilton, God bless her, she has told me, Jasper, after Fun and Recovery, you can be a lead, and you could be a lead on any television series. She's my, positive thinking voice in my head now. She's like, you got to stop putting out there that you have to be third or fourth on the series. But, come on. Let's, whatever. I'd like to be on, that would be the perfect television job for me. I would love to originate in a stage play, a drama, an original role, and do more, and really do more theater, and maybe be in New York doing off Broadway or Broadway theater at some point in the future. That would be great.
That's really, really cool. Do you get back to the East Coast at all?
I used to go like 2 or 3. Well, I'm from Georgia, but I used to go to New York like twice a year. And you know what happens? It's funny, like the pandemic happened, and then I tend to just travel for work now. I either travel back to
which is what everybody does now, right? Exactly.
Like the thought of like, oh, I'm just going to go
and just gallivant.
I got to get back to that frame of mind again. So I'm like 5 years out of going. I haven't been to New York in 5 years.
You still have family in Georgia in the South?
My soon-to-be 92-year-old father lives in.
Wow, God bless him.
Georgia. I have a brother there and a brother in Mississippi.
They must be proud of you.
We're proud. We're all proud of each other. We really are. Totally different. We're totally different. We've done totally
different backgrounds, things. Careers.
But we all been we love what we do, and we so blessed to have my dad. And my dad still lives alone. He has a girlfriend. Hi, Ernestine and Charles. He's really amazing. I hope I've inherited those genes for sure.
What's he like?
Well, he lives in the house he was born in, which was my grandmother's home. It's over 100 years old. It's my heritage 5 generations back. And my brothers and I, we have different fathers, same mom. I had a brother that was killed when he was 16, so I'm my dad's only remaining namesake.
You're right.
But although my brothers and I, we're all just like close. I mean, they're so good to my dad. My dad became their dad when they were like 8 and 10 or something like that. And they each had their own fathers as well. So he's retired now, like 30 years, I guess, 25, 30 years.
What did he do? What was his craft?
Well, he worked for a wire and cable company, but he was president of the IBEW. He was a big union president. So I grew up in a big union household. I remember my dad going to Michigan and all the different union trips when the contract negotiations would come up. And so I'm big with SAG. I'm rah SAG and union. I mean, I criticize both sides, but you have to have a healthy debate. But yeah, so that's what he did. He worked for a wire and cable company, and in the engineering aspect, and then shipping. But he, being the union president, took up a lot of his time. He's a really good guy, nice Southern gentleman.
That's fantastic, and it's nice to have, to God bless him. How you said he's 92?
He'll be 92 in June.
Wow.
We gave a big 90th party for him almost 2 years ago, and then I went back. I'm going back every birthday, obviously. Yeah, so I'm still friends with close friends from high school, maybe 3 or 4 of my closest friends to date. I tell people a lot, you go through life and thousands of people, but you still will have like a handful of, I call it the front row. There's the theater of friends, there's the front row, there's the mezzanine, there's some in the balcony, there's some that are out on the street, but you have your front row friends.
You got that A team, the all-stars that are always there through thick and thin.
Yeah.
rooting for each other through when times are good, when times aren't so good, lifting each other up, and knowing the real versions of each other, which is important. And that's a blessing to have that.
Yeah, you know that friend that you pick right back up, right? You get,
Exactly.
and it's like time stood still. Like I don't know if
Yes.
I've gone to a few reunions, high
Yeah.
school reunions, and you just pick right back up. I loved high school. I mean, I had great friends in high school. I loved growing up in this college town, 16 miles from Atlanta. And so it was really a lot of REM, B-52s, Kim Basinger, a lot of artists came out of Athens. So it was a magical time. You don't appreciate stuff until after the fact, but I couldn't wait to leave, and now I love going back.
And now you appreciate the quiet and the grounding and the foundation of it all. And I think in the last couple of years with everything we've gone through, a lot of people are craving that. They're going back home. They're reconnecting with their roots. They're slowing down. The world is spinning fast, but they're trying to find ways to take a breath and to savor and to relish, because you can't constantly go like this, because then all of a sudden you blink and you're like, what happened? It's gone in a New York minute. But I think people are trying to find ways to negotiate keeping things moving forward and progressing and growing and bringing the money in and all the things you got to do, but also enjoying the ride at the same time, right? Have you found yourself looking for that balance as well, Jasper?
Yeah, and part of the reason that I live in Palm Springs, well, I really consider Palm Springs full time now. I keep an apartment here in LA. I like having the best of both worlds, but for me, I do crave getting getting back to a smaller town and a little slower pace. I also enjoy coming to the city and getting that little shot in the arm, and then knowing that I can leave, and I do have the best of both worlds, and I'm really grateful, and I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. But although Palm Springs is growing, I've been out there 18 years, almost 19 years, and wow, I've seen it go from a seasonal town to not a seasonal town. It's a full-time. So many people from LA live there full-time now, and
Yeah.
they don't have people work from home, so they don't have to. They can move to the smaller places and afford. I mean, what you can buy in Palm Springs as opposed to LA is like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Completely different worlds, huh? What are a few other things that you have down the pike that you're excited about that you might want to share?
Yeah, well, so Howard Gibson, that our EP on Final Recovery, we are, along with J.R. Rosenberg and my partner and my client, Denise Boutte, we've been together 20 years. She's been with me from day one that she came to LA. We're producing a Christmas film that we're going to shoot in New Orleans, between kind of what we did with the Final Recovery, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, because a little clue is you get to you take advantage of the town's already decorated.
Right. It's all set.
Decorated. You can quote steal some shots of Christmas and stuff like that. But Howard has a hit show on AMC called Double Cross,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just ending, but he's doing two spinoffs. One of them, Sick and Twisted, Denise and I are starring in this summer, and we're shooting that in June and July in Atlanta and Puerto Rico. So I've never been to Puerto Rico. I'm excited about getting to go there. Yeah. And then we have another horror film working with the same streamer that Final Recovery is got. And hopefully we've left Final Recovery in such a way that there could be a sequel. So I think if everything goes well, you might be seeing, well, I don't know if you'll see, well, I don't know what characters you'll see. I don't want to give anything away, but there could be a sequel to Final Recovery for sure.
Wow, that is exciting. That is congratulations on that, huh?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And you also manage other talent too, which is a whole other side of the work that you do. You enjoy that part?
Love it. I've had that's 20 years now. I really only have 10, I have about 10 clients. I tend to work with I do well with veterans, like people. I've tried, Denise was my only young, I met her when she first started, and she was an old soul. That's really why we've connected. We've stayed together all this time. So yeah, and I think because I'm still in the game and I'm still doing it, I'm not like a manager who 20 years ago was an actor. I think my clients, I totally relate to
You relate to them.
what we're going through together, and the goal is that I sort of produce with them. Brian Dunkelman, who's a client of mine, we have
Hmm.
we just shot a pilot, a very much Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of pilot,
Did you really?
and I actually play his manager in the series, which is funny.
Tell him
My
I said hi. He was with us on the show. Yeah.
Yes, I
We'll have
will.
to have you guys come back maybe together when that comes out.
That would be great. Yeah, Brian's incredible. We've been now together 5, 6 years, I guess. So that's, yeah, Jennifer Lee Cox, who's a client of mine. She just did a great guest star in Abbott Elementary, and she's on the Peacock series, Mrs. Davis. We're also producing together. So really, most of my clients, the goal is to, produce together with them. Jennifer almost starred in Kombucha Cure. It didn't work out, and we're grateful we got Tamara, because everybody gets the part they're supposed to get. But Jennifer Coolidge is having such a moment, and I keep thinking I want Jennifer Lee Cox and Jennifer Coolidge to play sisters in something together. So we've got a little something cooking, trying to get those two, because they come from the Groundlings together. They've known each other for years. Jennifer Cox will always forever be Jan Brady, in the Brady
Mhm.
Bunch. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. Um,
Right.
yeah, but I do love the managing as well.
It's cool stuff. You're loving the ride, and you are out there still making it happen, Jasper, and inspiring others as you're doing it, managing them and guiding them along the way while you're still continuing to make your mark. And like I said, it's unbelievable when you look back at all the incredible things you've been a part of on television and film and theater as well. And this was really cool to have you stop by the Jim Masters show again and sort of catch up and freshen up some of the cool things that you've been working on since we chatted last. And always enjoy when you're here with us. And as I always say to all the guests, my friend, we're going to keep that porch light on for you, and you are welcome back here anytime. Looking forward to Charlene joining us as well as things get solidified there. That's
Yeah.
very exciting, and appreciate that as well. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you, my friend.
Had an incredible time, Jim. You're top tier, such a pro. Congrats again on all your success. I would love to come back anytime. Charlene's going to be great on coming to see you as well. Everyone, you can just people can go to jaspercole.com as well. Follow me, and Instagram is at Jasper Cole Says. So I'm really interactive with supporters and friends. Yeah, thank you. I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming up, and I'd love to come back. And I still have to have you on my podcast, which One-on-One with Jasper Cole. I am bringing it back. I went down during the strike, and I just haven't gotten back to
Because
it
you
yet.
couldn't do anything, right? Because, yeah.
Gonna hopefully start soon getting some esodes in the can. I'd love to have you on my show.
That would be my honor and pleasure. Absolutely. I'll bring the cheese and crackers.
Please
Did you
do.
enjoy our lobster and truffles in our green room?
So I'm actually doing a to-go box, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
I have Tupperware. I'll take
Don't
it
keep
home.
the lobster in the car too long. It'll spoil.
I'll put your name on a piece of the tape, so I know that it's your Tupperware I took from your green
Just
room.
say yes, from the Masters.
Exactly. Thank
You're
you,
the
Jim.
best, my friend. Really cool catching up with you. And I'm glad you were able to take some time. I know you're so busy, and continue to spread the word about the Jim Masters show. We really appreciate that. It takes a village doing these things, as you know, and from the ground floor up. And this is a blessing that you've made a return engagement here, and it won't be the last time. And come see us again. And again, thanks for all the time, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Take care.
You be well. You gonna
You
go make a
too.
sandwich now?
I'm gonna go drink more coffee.
Drink more coffee. All right. Cheers to you. Take care, Jasper.
Bye-bye.
Isn't it incredible, folks? This is his return visit to us here at JMS, the Jim Masters Show. A great friend of our show, great friend of mine, the one and only Jasper Cole, coming back to tell us about some exciting new things that he's working on, that Christmas horror film with Charlene Tilton, and lots more other incredible projects he's working on. And of course, we took you back in time and just brought you back to some of the other shows and series and specials, television series and movies and all kinds of incredible things, whether it's just a quick part or, several episodes, whatever it may be. He's been in a lot of our television and in our movies over the years, and he absolutely loves it. And he's a good guy, as you can see. Don't be fooled by the gruff exterior. That's part of the whole look. That's, he gets hired for a lot of that look, and he's really, really good at it. However, underneath all of that, he's one of the sweetest guys in the business. People love him. He is just passionate. He's caring. He's empathetic. I mean, you're looking at the screen, you're like, oh my God, and he was in that and that and that and that. Just a short list, folks. But he cares. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He loves to help other people, that are in the business, that are up and coming, and work with the veterans as well, as he has. We talked about this. This is a recent project, which is very exciting. Season 2 coming out. Of course, his great friendship with the iconic Charlene Tilton. There he is in the upcoming movie that we're very excited about, and that is Final Recovery. Look for that coming around the holidays. And again, the wonderful friendship he has with Charlene Tilton, who you know from a lot of great productions, including Dallas. And we're going to have Charlene coming here to join us in the coming weeks. But again, he's one of the big people in the industry, folks. He's very humble about it. He says, I'm still working hard for that next break. That's because he's a hard worker. But he's done so much, and he's accomplished so much, and he's award-winning. He is one of the most called upon veteran character actors in the industry. They call on him for just about everything. And the fact that he loves comedy too, and he's delved into the comedy world, and he'd like to tackle more comedy, I think is really cool and really exciting. So we're going to keep you abreast. He and I are always in contact. We're going to keep you abreast of other cool things that Jasper's doing. There's his website to keep abreast of some of the cool things that he's up to. He keeps that updated as well. And this was really something special. Really a lot of fun having him on the show and updating us on all the cool things. So, talk about his upbringing and his family and things he's passionate about, things that matter to him. So you get a chance to learn, on our show, these are conversations, not really interviews. So you get to learn a little bit more about the person, not just the projects and the blitz and the branding and everything, but the actual person through the conversations that I have with the guests and with you watching. And if you enjoyed this episode and all the ones you enjoy, be sure and give it a thumbs up like. There's a thumbs up icon on the YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up like. Drop a comment. Interact with us. Say hello. Let us know some of the great shows you've enjoyed that Jasper's been a part of and movies. Drop a comment. Interact with us on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Doesn't cost anything. And be sure and click the notification bell icon so that way there you'll be alerted about all these great episodes and celebrity friends and stars and guests that come in from all around the world, which is amazing. And don't forget, you can share the episode on your social media as well. We love when you do that. So we thank Jasper for joining us here. It was really cool catching up with him, and it's always great to have you with us as well. Thanks for stopping by and making us a part of your day, whatever time of day it is. I know people watch this series around the world, morning, noon, and night. Thousands and thousands of folks around the world. We've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows. You can see them all archived on the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Binge watch some of your favorites again, or check out others you might have missed, some really classic episodes of JMS. We appreciate you being with us. We love you all. Take time for one another. Don't forget to take time for yourself. Jim Masters wrapping up here from Lovely Hall, the Jim Masters Show. Come see us again. We'll keep the porch light on for you as well. We really appreciate your time. It means the world to us. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show. We'd appreciate that as well. You be well. Take care. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.